Yo, what up, a-holes? Thank you for tuning into the Holistic A-Hole podcast. My name is Eric Levi, and I'm the Holistic A-Hole, the mommy blogger with balls, the inconvenient truth of health. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Hopefully, you're having a great day, whatever you're doing, whether you're listening to this, with the earbuds in, at the gym, or, running errands, or cooking some delicious, healthy meal, or maybe you're crouched away at the back of a McDonald's, just hate eating because of a weird, stressful situation, or you just didn't make enough time to food prep for the week, or you just don't give an F about your health, and you're like, I need to start somewhere. And maybe you found your path here at the Holistic A-Hole, or maybe you're just, whatever, this is an escape, this is intentional. Who knows why you're listening to this? I'm just happy you're here listening, because I'm going to give you the real information. I don't have any corporate interest to bow down to. I owe nothing to nobody. I got nothing to lose, baby. We're Thelma and Louise in this thing off the edge of a cliff, you and me, and we're doing it, baby. We're doing it. We're attacking the real issues. And today we're going to punch straight up in the sky to the upper echelons of our is it our judicial system? No, it's our government. We're going to go punch away at the government here. We're coming in hot, talking about old Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Old Alexandria, actually very young Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the new congresswoman from the great city of New York City, pretty close to where I live here in Queens, New York, because she likes to get down on Twitter. She likes to get down on the Twitter, and she likes to throw out some tweets that are pretty amazing. Not because, she's got the audacity to tweet, because look, let's face it, old President Donald Trump, he likes to Twitter, and, he says some insane things too on the old Twitter, and, sometimes he says some things that are just fucking knocking it out of the park, and sometimes I think he swings and misses and does a full-on 360 at the plate, falls on his ass, picks his nose, then stands back up, dusts himself off, and then knocks it out of the park. Maybe we thought, hey, like, the president, whatever, that's his quirk. That's what he does. The country seems to be running okay. But let's keep it on the let's keep it on the up and up as far as who we're putting into the upper echelons of Congress. And yet here we go. We elect this girl with no government experience, which is actually not a knock against her. I should find that probably the most endearing quality about her getting elected, because she knocked out a fucking lifer Democrat for greener pastures. But man, it's like we're just electing more and more people who talk about government like I do after 6 drinks in a bar, talking to some weirdo who's wearing an Arizona Cardinals football shirt, and we're just high-fiving after a Cardinals win, trying to talk about and make sense of government. It doesn't make any sense, Some people just shouldn't be on the forefront of policy making, and I really believe Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is definitely one of those people. So we're going to get into all that here in just a minute. But first off, if you're new to the podcast, hit the subscribe button right now. This is a freaking order. You found your way here. Something drew you, the spirit, the muse. Something pulled you into the podcast. Maybe you just like the title. Maybe you like the logo. I don't know what your flavor is, but I want you to come back. I'm going to keep putting out quality content every single week, because unlike these other corporate sponsored health podcasts, them, they're pushing Harry's razors on you and Organifi stinky green fart shakes on you. Me? No, I answer to nobody. I bow to no one. So you know what I give you? I give you the real information, week in and week out, whether you like it or not. Look at my reviews on iTunes. Someone put on there, he is an a-hole, and he could not be more right, because I don't give an F. I don't give an F. You're going to like it. You're going to hate it. I don't care. I'm giving you the real facts. I got nothing to lose, baby. You and me, we're driving that car. We got our hands tied together. We're Thelma and Louise in this thing right off the edge of a hill, because we ain't got nothing to lose, baby. That's how we do this podcast. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. That way you can see the podcast pop into your feed twice a week. Again, nothing to lose. Other podcasts, they're lazy, they're sitting around, they're scratching their butts, they're smelling their fingers, just waiting around for things to happen. No, I'm fucking knocking it left and right. You don't even know what's coming. I'm Floyd Mayweather in that shit. Left, right, uppercut. Boom, twice a week. Sometimes 3 a week. That's how I get down. And sometimes when I'm feeling really saucy, once a day. That's how it goes. And then if you're loving the podcast, be like the guy who really made sure that people knew that I was an a-hole. Go leave a nice review on iTunes. Some people have actually been leaving some really nice stuff on there, and it helps me grow the podcast. And if you're loving it, why would you not want to spread this great message? Because more people need to become a-holes, just like me and you. And then make sure you go follow me on all the social mediums. Facebook, the Holistic A-Holes Facebook group. Holistic A-Hole on Facebook. This is my favorite one right now. Instagram. I got some great stories on Instagram. I got my videos on Instagram, and I'm dropping videos every single week on YouTube. So there's plenty of ways for you to join the A-Hole community, which, as you can tell already, is on fire. So here's what I want to talk about with this lady, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Now, look, I'm not going to come in like all of these other, kind of like, I'm not going to make this a freaking political issue, okay? Or I should say like a politically biased issue, right? I don't care if you're left, right. I'm not going to come at this like some Republican hater, or some right-wing journalist. I'm not coming in as like Sean Hannity or, Fox News. I'm not going to, diss Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez because I think she's too young to be in Congress and she's kind of stupid and she's got a weird slant in her eye and she wears, $1,000 pantsuits or whatever it is. I'm not going to come in like that, okay? What I'm going to come in at is the fact that she is promising a lot of stuff, She's like a cheerleader, right? She's not a like a lawyer, she's not a business person. And I'll be honest, like maybe that's what we need. Maybe we just need activists who are just loud and obnoxious and who just say things to just trigger people. And that's how we're going to get things done finally. It's just a bunch of people just yelling things that there's no factual basis for. Maybe this is what's going to finally burn the whole thing down, and we can just kind of like sort through the ashes and start over. This is what Trump does. I mean, look, what is the presidency anymore? What is government anymore? After we know, I mean, it's not a secret anymore. The government doesn't care about you. The Congress, the Senate, the president, the cabinet, they don't care about you. They care about the bottom line. They care about, their legacy. They care about making the laws that the lobbyists are going to pay them to make. They don't care about, the chemicals in the food or the water. They don't care about the growing inequality amongst people. They talk about healthcare. They don't care about healthcare. They talk about climate change. They don't care about climate change. All of these things could be fixed in a day. I mean, let's be honest, if we're living by bills and documentation, then just write the right documentation and sign it. But this is not how it works. It's bureaucracy, okay? And we experience it at every level. We experience it in Congress, the Senate, the presidency, fucking the DMV, the post office. You're trying to sign up for Obamacare? Good luck. Good luck sitting on hold. Good luck trying to, if you want to actually go through the right, rings of actually becoming a citizen in this country, good luck. Good luck fighting through all that bureaucracy, right? You should probably just, run across the Rio Grande and, come in through the, like the southern border or just hop the fence or whatever it is, because that's the only way you're really going to get in this country, Unless you're, unless you're coming here to slave away legally with a green card and be an Indian or a Chinese or a European who just so happens to be smarter or maybe well educated with, excuse me, with numbers, and you work for some firm who promises you a green card and they underpay you and they make you work 60, 70, 80 hours a week, for just dog shit wage, promise you a green card, and then right when it comes up time to get you a green card, they fire you or whatever. This is the bureaucracy that people go through when dealing with government in this country. Now, when it comes to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, man, her Twitter, she is on fire. Let's just say that. She is on fire. Now, man, non-smoker's cough, let me tell you. I think I have some kale stuck in the back of my throat, mixed in with some bone broth or something. She likes the old Twitter, and I've been getting into Twitter lately. I get on the can, take a morning dump. That's the healthy, holistic detox way of living. The first, half hour of my day. Boom. What do? Bust out? No, not the first half. I'm not looking at Twitter the first half hour of the day. I'm looking within the first, 2 hours. Give us some time, go hit the can, bust open my Twitter feed right there, scrolling through. Didn't used to like Twitter, now I'm starting to kind of like it. And I had to start following Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez because she gets busy on Twitter. And she's over here talking about healthcare. I mean, she's talking about all kinds of stuff, Some of it, I'll be honest, I like, we should be drawing down the military. I like that kind of situation. I like the idea of having courage and believing. I am a little, kind of skeptical of the whole hopeful message. I think that's just when we say things like we need to be positive. Driving fear, promoting fear doesn't do anything. No, promoting fear is actually the most effective way, according to people like Daniel Kahneman, Nobel Prize winner, of getting things done. When you're actually fearful, you fucking start to change. When you're just hopeful of shit, this is when you just let the dopamine flow, and it feels good to make, big promises and get people excited about things that will just never happen. When you just are excited because, people are just like, oh my God, one day we're all going to be equal and wealth inequality will be gone. And, the rich and the poor will gather hands and we'll dance around in Times Square and we'll all just, parade in reigns of free money and free champagne and everyone will get a limo and it'll be fantastic. Isn't that fun to think about? Because we can just be hopeful. No, you need to be scared as fuck. You need to be scared. You need to know, like, hey, look, dude, look. They're fucking poisoning you. They're poisoning the water. Russia is not coming, but you know who is? The goddamn Chinese. They fucking taken out our satellites. They're ready to fucking burn the system down. We need fear. We need fear in this country. And if you can't handle fear, if you got to go take your Xanax or your weird anti-anxiety medications or because you can't handle fear, well, you're one of the weak ones, my friend. Evolution and natural selection is not choosing you. If you cower to fear, evolutionarily speaking, you're going to be gone. And healthcare should not be tapping in to fucking save your ass, okay? And this is my problem with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's Twitter, because it starts putting out these ideas that start getting people excited about this possibility that we can just start charging people. We can just start taxing people to the fucking tilt, to the point where, somebody slaves away starting a company that might make, I don't know, $200,000 a year, which is a lot of goddamn work if you're an entrepreneur. If you can somehow muster something like $100,000 or $200,000, what is the upper limit for what they call, like the top tax bracket? I think it's like $250,000. You slave away building your business from the ground up, working 20 plus hours a day, 7 days a week. Oh, no Christmas vacation, no New Year celebration, no 4th of July, just building your business so you can accumulate wealth, following your dreams, hiring more people, creating jobs, whatever you're doing, okay? You're creating wealth. This is the whole basis of capitalism, the greatest method of creating wealth that the world has ever seen. But instead, what we've got are people like Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and then these Democratic hacks that are, for some reason falling in line, showing that maybe they might be like that, but really still not at all like that, saying we need to tax these people more than half their wealth. We need to tax somebody who has fucking bled their fingers to the bone, lived and died and cried every single moment for years, building a fucking business with their blood, sweat, and tears. Start taking their money so that they can pay for health insurance for some stranger who can't stop eating Doritos and being sad because it's fucking rainy outside and I can't get out of bed because I'm so depressed, because I'm so anxious. I have social anxiety. I have depression. I'm bipolar. Hey, but why don't you look at your diet? Why don't you cut down your sugar consumption? Why do you not start every day with 3 bowls of Cocoa Puffs? Oh, you can't say that. That's being insensitive. Let them have their medication and live whatever lifestyle they want. Meanwhile, you fucking evil entrepreneur, you need to pay their medical bills. This is what these people are promoting with this idea of single-payer Medicare for all. I love the idea of everybody in this country just having health insurance. It's a great fantasy. It's a fun little thing to think about, that if everybody in the country, 330 million people, by the way, 330 million people all have health insurance. Isn't that fun to think about, that we would all just, be healthy and we'd just be frolicking and we could all just pursue our dreams? That is not how health insurance works. I cannot emphasize this enough on this podcast, that healthcare and health insurance are not the same thing. And when you put the two together, it does not equal healthy people. Health is not based on insurance. It's based on a daily practice of fucking self-care, of making sure that you're doing everything in your power to not be sick, to not encourage disease within your body. It's holistic. It's mind, it's body, it's spirit, it's healthy thoughts, it's healthy functioning of your liver, it's healthy functioning of your gallbladder, it's healthy functioning of your intestines, your large intestines, your small intestines, it's healthy functioning of your blood. It's making sure you don't eat fucking processed garbage. It's making sure you're not excessively eating sugar and fucking rancid trans fats. It's knowing the difference between butter and fucking margarine. It's knowing the difference between trans fat and saturated fat. It's knowing how insulin works. None of these things people understand. And none of those things are going to make people understand it because we just start giving everybody health insurance, okay? So let's go through Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's tweets that I'm just gushing over. I just love these tweets. So the tweet that really caught my eye first and foremost, I think this was a couple days ago. This was December 2nd. So she goes, I don't know who she was. She was responding to this guy Jim Hansen that said, "Things will be much simpler when our Democrat socialist overlords simply tell us who will live and who will die. Hashtag death panels rock." And he was probably talking about healthcare here. And then Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez chimes in and goes, "Actually, we have for-profit death panels now. They are companies plus boards saying you're on your own because they won't cover a critical procedure or medicine. Maybe if the GOP stopped hiding behind the socialist rock they love to throw, they'd actually engage on issue for once." Well, it's funny that somehow this is just a GOP issue, and it wasn't the Democrats who passed Obamacare, which created a for-profit fucking cartel of private health insurance. You understand how that works? Obamacare was not free health care. That's what it was marketed as. People thought they were going to get free health. You know, when people got free health care were people who were on Medicaid, because we encourage people in this country to be so poor that you can get free health care. If you're so poor, granted, I understand people fall on hard times. Medicare should just be Medicaid, really, in its best essence, even though I'm so against it and for so many reasons. Okay, it should be a temporary thing, right? You fall on hard times, you're out of work, whatever, you need to get picked back up. Okay, you need a serious procedure done, or you just need to visit the doctor or whatever, even though I'm against all that shit. Okay, boom, you got a little Medicaid. But people live off Medicaid for years, dude, for years, okay? That's who gets free health care. And then the rest of the people get some kind of weird subsidized health care at the expense of who? At the expense of the people who make the most money in this country, and even people who don't want to be in the healthcare system. Even people who don't want health insurance. For some reason, they still got to pay a fine every single year because they chose not to get health insurance. You understand what that is? That is fucking fascism. That's the old, SS walking around knocking on your door like, hello, is anybody home there? Well, we are looking for some money because we are paying for this health insurance system, and it seems to be that you did not pay for the health insurance, so you must pay anyways. This is not an option for you. You cannot opt out. You think you will opt out of this? Oh no, you will pay for the health insurance of people you've never met before. Oh yes, you will. This is what the fucking Obamacare is. And this is why people like Donald Trump and the GOP don't like it. Even though they're as corrupt and fucked up, that doesn't make any sense, okay? Even if Trump Care royally, completely fumbles the ball at the 1 yard line and just makes somehow makes Obamacare worse. It still is so bad that it won't even fucking register. It's the concept of the for-profit health insurance cartel that is Obamacare that, by the way, so many practitioners will not take because it's so poorly run and managed. That's how bad it is. That healthcare practitioners who will fucking suck a dick of any insurance company they can because they want to be in their network because it means more business are like, we don't want anything to do with Obamacare because we cannot get our bills paid. Right? People are just paying taxes to pay for it, yet somehow the money doesn't make it to the doctor's office. Ain't that crazy? Oh, but you know what people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is? They say, you know what? We need to get rid of Obamacare, and we need to make it even more government run. We need to get rid of all the insurance so that there's just a few people paying all the bills for 330 million people that will somehow get to the freaking doctor's offices in the first place, right? By the way, you want to talk about death panel? Let's talk about the fact that you're going to consolidate all of the health insurance. By the way, I know it is a for-profit health insurance market. It's really fucked up that it's like that. You know why it's for-profit? Because people can't stop getting sick. That's why. Because there is a consumer base that is growing exponentially, needing more and more care. I don't think it's right that somebody takes, a pharmaceutical pill that could save the life of, somebody having, a seizure or an asthma attack or, AIDS or, the fucking Alzheimer's or whatever it is. I don't think it's right that they increase these, by 50%, 60% a year, whatever those numbers are. I've seen them over 200, 300%. I think that's so wrong. But you know what else is so wrong? The fact that we can't convince people that sugar is the reason why people get these crippling diseases like Alzheimer's and cancer and diabetes and heart disease and just chronic inflammation. You got people pushing the goddamn high carbohydrate vegan diet, saying somehow this is the healthiest diet when there's so much science that says fucking wheat bread rises your glycemic index, is a higher glycemic index food than even fucking table sugar. Isn't that crazy? Isn't it crazy? But yet, no, the vegan diet's like, no, eat more whole wheat bread. Eat more fucking starch. Eat more fucking rice. Eat the brown rice. Don't eat the white rice, even though the glycemic index is even higher on brown rice. Oh, and it's got arsenic in it. Oh, but don't eat butter. God forbid you eat butter because that causes heart disease. Says who? Oh, it says Ansel Keys because he checked out 7 European countries in the 1950s and found that saturated fat is why people are having heart attacks. Oh, never mind the other countries that didn't, in fact, show that. He even lived in one of them. I believe maybe one of them was Italy, I think, and found that all the people he lived around did not have high rates of heart disease. It's called the French paradox because people in France eat fucking meat and butter and drink wine, and they don't have the health crisis that we have here in America. Why? Because walk through a goddamn grocery store. 90% of it is processed sugar and high fructose corn syrup. Oh, but we're not going to get rid of that. We're just going to let people keep getting sicker and sicker, and then somehow 330 million people in the country are all going to get great quality care because there's so many doctors in this country that are just going to provide that. Never mind the fact that there's tens of thousands of U.S. war veterans that come home to this fucking country and cannot get care themselves right now. People who have had legs blown off, who have legit PTSD, not PTSD because the girl that you asked out to the prom when you were 18 said no and you can't get out of bed now as a 29-year-old. You still live with your goddamn parents and they're fucking paying your goddamn car insurance. That's your PTSD. Never mind that. Never mind the fact that there's actual war veterans who cannot get health insurance. Oh, now this 29-year-old gets his fucking, his goddamn health care just paid carte blanche. Doesn't matter. What's wrong? You got the sniffles, Gary? Oh, you get to go to the doctor. Oh, you don't just walk right into the doctor, my friend. Oh, no. Because just because we gave everybody the ability to go to the doctor for quote unquote free doesn't mean that all of a sudden we just had all of these new great doctors out there ready to take on patient care. And if they just all of a sudden show up, be very afraid. Be very afraid if all of a sudden all these doctors just show up out of the blue ready to give you care because you know what? They ain't ready to be doctors. Okay, I think I've done a podcast on iatrogenic death. Do you know what iatrogenic death is? It's the number one cause of death, of mortality in this country. Every single year, hundreds of thousands of people die due to medical care. Okay, let that sink in for a second. The number one killer of people in this country is not heart disease, it's not cancer, it's not diabetes, it's not Alzheimer's disease. It's not, broken bones from car accidents or whatever it is. It's because people go to the hospital and die. It's because people die under their doctor's care. It's because their doctors prescribe them medication that they're not supposed to get, and they fucking die from complications. This is the highest rate of death. Oh, and you want to just get more. You want to get more. Because right now, doctors have an approved time to look at you for 15 minutes. And if your general practitioner can't figure out what's wrong with you in 15 minutes, guess what they do? They send you to a specialist. And if the specialist can't figure it out, he sends you to another specialist. And if that specialist can't figure it out, he sends you to another specialist. And if that specialist can't figure it out, he sends you to another specialist. And then you tell him you already went and saw that specialist. And then you know what he says? Oh, well, just take this medication. Just take this medication because they're sick of seeing you and you're sick of seeing them. So you're so desperate, you just take his word for it or her word for it. You say, well, they're a doctor. They must know what they're talking about. And you take the medication. And guess what? You have side effects and complications. That's why every pharmaceutical commercial you see on TV has to say that shit. Why? Because they've been sued because somebody has died for that very complication. Because that's not a complication. That's not a side effect. Dying from pharmaceuticals, that is the main effect. It's a pill that, sure, might have shown one positive clinical trial out of other clinical trials that it did not show positive, that did not get published. Do you see how fucked up this is? This is just the tip of the iceberg of everything wrong with the either for or not for-profit healthcare system. Healthcare is not health insurance. Healthcare is a really dirty, ugly business, okay? And what people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says is, we have death panels right now. Well, guess what? We're going to have a lot of death panels if we just give everybody in this country health insurance. This is why I do this podcast, so you can understand why it's so important to protect yourself with diet, with lifestyle, with positive thinking, health, holistic health and wellness. I mean, you cannot, there's no other option. You have to fend for yourself. This is evolution. You want to completely bankrupt the country? Because let me tell you something, dude. We've been at war for almost 20 years, and we're not going to stop, So we're going to be fucking in debt because of war. We're going to be in debt because of healthcare. And guess who's going to have all our goddamn money? The Chinese. And there's going to be sitting back waiting for all the sick Americans who, are at their goddamn doctor's offices waiting for their free healthcare. So, so death panels, right on. Definitely bring on some more death panels. Don't have enough of those. And then the other one that she said was something about that there was $21 trillion. There was a tweet by like the Washington Post or something saying that, that there was like this, finally an audit on the Pentagon, and they, found a number of transactions unaccounted for that was like $21 trillion. And she puts this tweet out that $21 trillion is 66% of, here we go. Straight up wrong. Medicare for all costs she was responding to that one. $21 trillion of Pentagon financial transactions could not be traced, documented, or explained. 21 trillion in Pentagon accounting areas. Medicare for all equals $32 trillion. That means 66% of Medicare for all could have been funded already by the Pentagon. And that's before our premiums. What does that even mean, dude? Before our premiums, there are no premiums, Medicare for all. What are you talking about? That was the whole point of Medicare for all. There are no premiums, right? We just go to the doctor's office. Not to mention $32 trillion. That is not like a number that you just throw out there. Like, it just costs $32 trillion. That should frighten you. $32 trillion, because that means they've now budgeted 10, 100, 1,000, I think like $10,000 per person per year for healthcare, right? Does everybody in this country need $10,000 per person per year? No. Most people are not going to use anywhere close to that. And then some people are going to suck up hundreds of thousands of dollars of health care every year. But yet we're all still going to get taxed up to the fucking neck with this shit, paying for all of this stuff. Right? So she's saying that because the Pentagon can't account for $21 trillion in transactions, and this is where the accounting gets real murky, because transactions does not equate to spending, okay? Medicare, healthcare spending is one thing. Transactions are money moving from one department to another, and sometimes those fucking numbers multiply. So two departments in a $10 transaction can transact that money, or a $100 transaction can transact that money back and forth multiple times throughout each month, multiple months out of the year. That can quickly add up. The actual military budget for, I think it was 95 to 2005 or something like that, it was $9 trillion, which is still an absurd amount of money. With the military-industrial complex. I'm not defending that at all. That is a whole other story. But to think that, 21 trillion is just a simple number that represents anything, nonetheless, the fucking healthcare that we did not spend in this country is just preposterous, dude. And people voted for this girl because they want to believe, but believe that's just unicorn jizz. It's not real. It's not real. You need fear. We need to be afraid of people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Stop believing. Remember, Obama got elected on hope and, hope and change, and all that hope and change, that was also unicorn jizz. It did not work. Nothing changed. Their hope was just you sitting around, scratching your butt, smelling it. That's all hope is. Nobody's actually taking action. When you are fearful, when you know that, it comes down to life or death, you start to take fucking massive action. And that's what people need. People are not afraid. People are not afraid of the healthcare system. They defy it. When you walk around and see people still going to McDonald's, still going to Taco Bell, still fucking looking at you if you go out and you get a kale salad at a restaurant, look at you like you're a weirdo, If you order a water and not 4 beers, they look at you like you're a weirdo. People look down on you. You won't get the right service because instead of, drinking 4 beers or 4 Cokes or, getting an ice cream sundae at a restaurant as a beverage or a dessert, they just get mad at you. They look at you like a freak because you're drinking water. This is the ass backwardsness of this whole system. So you think just because you're going to shift numbers around that all of a sudden everyone's just going to be healthy. Healthcare does not equate to healthiness. It's not. It's sick care, bro. And it promotes you getting sick. Because what's the incentive of taking care of yourself if you know you can just go to your doctor for free, right? I won't take care of myself. Fuck it. I'm done with this holistic a-hole bullshit. I'm just going to fucking sit back. I'm going to eat a bunch of goddamn ice cream. I'm going to eat hot dogs. I don't even like hot dogs, but I'm going to eat those motherfuckers. I'm going to get constipated for days. My digestion is just going to shut straight down. I don't care, bro. I'm going to drink soda again because if I know I can just go to the doctor and it's just going to work out all great and beautiful and willy-nilly and just soak up my unicorn jizz dreams and hope, then you better believe I'm getting sick as fuck. Just like everybody else in the country is going to do. Because that's how that shit works. So this was a hell of a rant, you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. You might agree, you might not agree. It's it's not going to make everybody happy, but I don't do this podcast to make everybody happy. I know some of you guys think this is great. I know some of you guys think this is terrible. But I would love to know what you think, right? Because you have a voice too, right? It's not just me. I want to create this conversation. And if you think this lady Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders and all these weirdos who are pushing democratic socialism, which, by the way, we're going to get into that one of these days very soon, because that whole concept, I watched it play out in front of me a couple weeks ago when I went to this debate between capitalism and democratic socialism. I want to get into that because there are so many things wrong with democratic socialism. Just this idea that everybody's equal and everybody gets all the same stuff. It's Dude, it's so proven, so wrong, so many times that it's just hilarious that people are so jaded and fucking, brainwashed in this country. Maybe because they can't get off the video games and the excessive amounts of Netflix and TV, and they, sit around eating Doritos, watching fucking House of Cards, that they think they understand how government works, that they just think that, democratic socialism and everybody's equal. No, dude, this is not how this shit works. You gotta wake up and you gotta fucking pull your goddamn big boy pants on, even if you're a girl, okay? And we're not gonna get into the transgender thing because that's even fucking worse. But put your big boy pants on and start living in the goddamn world, and know that natural selection is coming for your ass, dude. It's coming for you, right? The weak are going to start falling off here, and you got to be stronger. You got to stop being hopeful, start getting a little fearful, start igniting the fire under your ass, and start working your balls off every single day, just like the Holistic A-Hole does to make these podcasts for you a-holes. So I hope you all enjoyed this. Again, if you love it, if you hate it, whatever, start the conversation. Go to the Holistic A-Holes Facebook group. Throw your thoughts in there. Shoot me an Instagram message. You know I'm loving that Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Shoot me a picture, a screenshot of the podcast playing in your phone. Shoot a nice little message over to me, and then hit me up on Twitter and follow the Holistic A-Hole on YouTube. That's my big push right now, is the old YouTube page. And again, if you haven't done this, subscribe, leave a review on iTunes, and I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.